Hi, welcome to Three Dudes in a Movie with your hosts Jacob, Marty, and Ryan. Here we watch and review a variety of movies. Also, find us on Instagram at 3dudesinammovie. Thank you for listening and enjoy this week's episode.
There's a difference between not forgetting and remembering.
How about you just say my name next time?
Dude, I'm so excited to gamble today. I'm literally shaking. That's called an addiction. No, I've been doing this for 20 years. It's called my passion.
No, it's only been legal in Nashville for a couple of years.
That's true.
Yeah, you tell me every day.
Or Tennessee. Not Nashville.
All right.
Little did you know that
All right.
they are one and the
We're
same.
on.
Y'all, we're vibing tonight.
Yeah, this is a vibe.
Oh, we're starting.
So for our listeners at home, we've got the lights down low. We got a couple candles, and then we got the LED lights. We got a mix of the of what do you call this? Fanta orange and the pure white.
That's right.
Got us. We're having a good time. Let's go around the table and introduce ourselves. Tristan, why don't you start us off? Oh, I didn't see this coming. I didn't see this coming. Who are you? We did the Spider-Man meme. All right, because there are two Tristans in the house.
That's
So what
right.
we got?
Hey, what's up? This is Tristan Abelson. I am one of the roommates, and this is my first official appearance on the podcast.
You might be familiar with him because he's cooked in the background of a couple of episodes.
Oh, yeah.
And he also had a spot where he highlighted the flaming lips
Oh, yeah.
regarding Guardians of the
course.
Galaxy.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
I've been featured on with a couple of showers in the background, some water
Features.
from the.
I think he dropped something once, too.
couple of toilet flushes, I'm sure.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll go. Was that counterclockwise?
Well, yes.
Who cares?
Good job.
Oh, man, I had a whole bit planned for this.
Go for it.
I'll be back in a second. You
Oh.
keep introducing
You gonna make
yourself.
him knock on a door?
Tristan. All right. Well, I'm Marty Bedwell. I'm Marty Bedwell. Man, your mic is so much stronger than mine. Should I say anything else? Y'all
No,
know.
you're Marty.
Y'all know who I am, man.
Yeah.
But also, I'm trying to kill time for Mr. Stairs. I think me saying this killed time. Go ahead.
Yep.
I'm Ryan.
All right. I'm Tristan here. I'm not a roommate. I'm just the plus on the podcast. I guess I'm not really a plus anymore. I guess
That's true.
I'm here and staying.
And you're
Ryan shrugged his shoulders, so no, I'm not.
That's right. Welcome to Three
I'm
Dudes in a
still on
Movie, where
trial.
there's 5 dudes here today. We have someone else who needs to introduce themselves, but he's not here.
Yeah, he said he's doing a bit, and he left.
I mean, that kind of gives us the opportunity to introduce him,
Yes,
which I don't want to waste that opportunity.
for sure.
You got something to say?
It's the best time to talk about people when they're not here.
It's what my... go ahead. I was going to throw someone under the bus with that.
Sorry, did I cut you off? What were you going to say?
No, I'm still thinking, still cooking it up. Oh, here he comes. Opportunity. Oh, my.
God.
Oh! Whoa!
And finally, it's
Luigi!
I'm here for the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Dude, you're 3 weeks late.
Is this not the movie we're talking about?
No.
We're not talking about Super Mario Brothers.
Oh,
my
man, this man
goodness.
comes downstairs. He got overalls, a green shirt, and a Luigi hat.
Honestly, dude, I'm just impressed. That was super quick.
Thank you.
This man just Superman
never-
in the phone booth.
I've never moved so quicker in my life.
Is that your beach meat costume? for
Yeah,
the
so
day?
when you're in student ministry,
Dude, you're getting burned.
you
Kids are gonna flame you, dude.
Yeah, you're not even the main character.
what if I turn the Luigi
not
hat
gonna-
backwards?
No, they're not gonna respect a single thing for beach safety. You have to say, dude. Double red flags. They're in the water. They don't care. You stop them.
JT,
Don't go
you still
too
have tags
far.
on?
Oh yeah, I just got these.
Yeah, it's getting returned next
Well,
week.
I got this costume on Sunday.
No, man, you
and
keep that hat.
And I was supposed to try it on. I hadn't yet. I look like a hobbit down here. These are a little high. It's going a little high.
He bought the fuzzy feet slippers. He's like, I just felt Luigi
Is that how
needed it.
Luigi?
I just love the thought of him sending measurements to Scott as he's going through buying costumes for
Scott
everyone.
said.
Is Scott Mario?
What are you, about a medium?
Yeah, he said. I just figured we probably were the same, except I'm older and fatter. And I was like, well, that's not how sizes work.
Can you confirm?
Yeah, this fits.
Okay.
So anyway, we're talking about the Mario.
Tristan, nothing you could have cooked up would have topped
What actually happened?
buffoonery.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just
my
crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I just thought this would be perfect. I'm not wearing this for the Mario episode if we do that. I learned that.
I think
don't
that
think
ship
we're
has
gonna- yeah.
gone.
Sailed.
It's
Sailed.
gone. Yeah.
Cool. How far did we get?
Oh.
Ryan?
No, it was your turn.
And I'm Jacob.
yeah.
I mean, Luigi.
It's a me.
We're having to talk about the Spider-Man. Mitsubishi.
This is why we need cameras down here on this, because you can't.
I brought it up to Bailey, and she's like, "Yeah, it's gonna be really funny, except no one's gonna see that."
Yeah.
But then I was like, "Well,
I'll
we'll
post this. I'll
it.
post
Yeah,
that
we'll
picture.
post
I'm
it.
not afraid.
It'll
That's
be
how you
fun.
get TikTok famous. That's how you get in the algorithm.
That's right.
That's
That's
how
right.
you show up on For You pages.
Dude, the only costume I have upstairs is a really, really long black cloak and a scary mask.
So Scream?
No,
Oh,
it's probably like I think I got my pumpkin mask here with me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was
Always
gonna
stay
say,
strapped for
should I-
Halloween.
Should I move out?
yeah.
That's a long black cloak. It's not white.
Well, listen to
We're
Silence of the Lamb episode.
safe.
I was
you're-
gonna say, yeah,
Yeah.
I just got skin upstairs.
Yeah, man.
That's tough.
Wait a minute. Was she a great big fat person?
Yeah, but what about in the movie? right, so what
you
movie-
guys wanted the Across the Spider-Verse Silence of the Lambs connection.
Crossover, yep. There it is.
Yeah, speaking of Across the
Yeah,
Spider-Verse.
what universe is Buffalo Bill in?
Yeah,
Yeah, guys, we watched Across the Spider-Verse.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Man.
What a movie.
And that's the time we have today, guys.
All right, see you guys. I kind of want to be. I was thinking about how do we want to work through this a
Dude.
little bit. I don't want us to like. Let's just go initial thoughts without going too deep,
Mhm.
and then we'll just kind of get into it, see where it goes from there.
All
So
right.
if we want to go around, we'll go the other way. All right, other
Yeah.
Tristan.
I loved it. Every second of it. There was not gonna get too deep. There was a 10-minute, period of the movie that felt like it was a bit of a drag. But
Oh, the credits.
yeah, the credits. Yeah, because I waited there for the whole time.
No end credits.
That's no end credits. Yep.
But I loved it. I loved the first one, and I think this one just did a superb job of carrying it over and taking it to the next level.
Nice. All right, Ryan.
I thought it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it.
All right.
You did.
Not too deep.
That's good.
That's
I
what
like
that's what was
Noted.
asked.
He's
My
waiting.
bad.
He's waiting to give his thoughts.
I thought it was incredible, spectacular. Oh, well, let me go. Amazing, incredible, spectacular, ultimate. Just trying to think of different
Yeah.
comic runs for Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Pit,
you probably saw all of them.
Spider-Ham.
Yeah. Noir.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter Porker.
2099.
Yep.
That's not a way to describe something, but it's futuristically awesome. It was great. It's amazing. It's a perfect movie.
Mm.
That's a lot.
Perfect
Nothing's
movie.
perfect.
It was
All right.
close.
Although I will say, I do want to say this. Ted Lasso, last episode of Ted Lasso called Jaws a perfect movie. Anyway, Tristan, you go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna echo what you guys said. Like, I was smiling in the theater like the whole time.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
I was physically smiling the whole time.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's like there are no perfect movies, but I'm having a really hard time criticizing this. There are probably a couple things that jumped out that kind of took me out of it in the moment, but other than that, like story wise, it was awesome. It was a really good time.
Nice. Yeah, I probably first of all, the vibe is just so just
man.
such a I just want to live in that world. And I know that
And there's a lot of them, too.
There's a lot of them to choose from.
Yeah.
But I think Miles is just Brooklyn there where he's at with his family.
Yeah.
And just the soundtrack, so good. And like every bit of it, it's probably about halfway. I can't think of a specific scene, but probably about halfway through it where I was like, this has the potential to be one of my favorite like of trilogies. Just
100%.
like front to back, just amazing. Of course, the animation style, just a great movie. I think it's perfect for anybody of all age. I mean, we went last night with Tristan and a few of his students.
A few, dude. We had 40 people there. Come on, Tom.
And a couple staff.
Yeah.
And
I know Patrick was there.
Yeah.
I felt like there were so many moments for each of you take your different age groups and that sort of thing, and there were moments for every one of them to laugh, to have a really good laugh, and so I appreciate about the movie, and it harkened back to a lot of stuff that happened in the first movie that I really enjoyed. So I feel like it was a perfect. I'll say this: I think it was a perfect middle movie. And I think that speaks a lot because middle movies are when they tend to drag.
Yeah, they
And I
can.
didn't feel as much as I usually do in number 2 movies. So I enjoyed it. What are the things? I try to think through what are the highlights of this movie, and you can say like this series. I mean, it's the two movies so far, but like the highlights of the animation style, the story, the characters, the soundtrack. Like there's so many things to want to highlight. But what are the things that stick out to you guys? I'm just gonna open the floor from there.
Something I really wanted to point out was the importance of the soundtrack.
Yeah.
The importance of the score specifically, because Into the Spider-Verse leaned into the soundtrack, and it obviously had Sunflower as a reoccurring anthem, and then it had absolute bangers like What's Up Danger. I'm blanking on any of the other names, but I've listened to the album a few times. It's great. This movie had good songs. Man, I forget the name of the song that at the end. Spoilers. If you're still listening, you didn't expect spoilers. Good for you, but spoilers.
Okay, yeah.
At the very
That's your spoiler alert.
I believe it's Calling is the end credits one when he
the one where Aaron puts the track on.
yeah.
The record. Ain't love in the heart of the city. I love that song.
But that was also from the first one, right? That was like their song that they would listen to.
Oh, maybe. I don't know if I remember that. Good call if it is. I was going to say, like, I appreciated this movie leaned into the score more than the soundtrack. Like, it leaned into themes. And something I really wanted to highlight, Jacob, we kind of talked about this just this morning.
Right.
I've been listening to it all day. The last song in the score adds a bunch of themes together. It has like a somber version of Miles' theme. It adds in the Prowler theme because we realize in Earth 42, Miles is the Prowler.
Right.
Then it adds in Gwen's drums as she starts to get the team together. And it's the last, on Spotify, it was the last song on the score.
Yeah, it's
album.
Calling. Yeah.
And in parentheses, it's called Start a Band. I've been listening to that all day. And just taking that kind of storytelling and making it so epic. I don't feel like the first one did that with its score. The score was great, but the first one leaned into the soundtrack. It leaned into Post Malone and Sway Lee.
Yeah.
Sorry to correct that. Am I Dreaming is when she's gathering a team to save Miles, and then Calling goes in the end credits.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I just think that seeing this movie, we've talked about this before on the podcast. Like John Wick, when they made the first one, there was no plan for other things. They just kept doing stuff.
There was a dog and a gun.
Evident in this from the first one to this one. Like, no, they had a plan from the get-go. And this is how it was going to go the whole time.
Gosh,
just with the score, like how they leaned into things. One of my favorite parts of the movie was, I made a joke about it earlier on in the movie, but then as you watch, you really like pick up on it. Gwen's hair,
yeah, that was crazy.
It's like it's a mood ring. That's all it is, and it changes based on what her mood is and what she's going through and what she's feeling, what she's experiencing.
Well, the entire world, because I mean, when we walk. Because it opens up with her leaving her band because she's ticked off, and so then she goes back home and she's talking to her dad, and that's when one of the teenagers were with was like, oh, her hair changed, and he's like, yeah, it's like a mood ring, and it kind of is a joke, but then you realize about her universe in particular, and then it comes back towards the end of the movie when she reunites with her father, but you realize like all of the setting and placement for her universe is an entire emotional setting.
Yeah,
like, when you watch her and her dad talking back and forth. At first, I thought, is the entire movie going to be like this?
I know, right? I was
going to be really annoyed.
Like watercolors or something.
And why there's always a light coming up. But then I realized that was her.
But when you think about it, like the context of especially like why her dad is chasing Spider-Man or Spider-Girl in that world, like it's a really somber. It's kind of a heavy world that she has, like just in general.
Because Peter was like a son to him.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and anytime you go back there, you just feel the weight.
Yeah, so good.
Also, her dad being a scumbag, still trying to arrest her
I know.
afterwards. It's like, dude, read the room. You just saw what she did.
Read the absolutely destroyed museum room.
The man was a dinosaur. What did you expect?
I love it when she was like, let me guess, you were there sitting at a cafe in Venice drinking an espresso, and then you were here. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, so I guess kind of give a little bit of context. The interesting beginning of the movie, I wasn't so sure how I liked it at first, was that it starts from Gwen's perspective. and kind of just recaps. It does a really good job of recapping everything that's happened thus far before you even begin with Miles. And so then you get a little bit of her story in that, in her world, there's obviously some repercussions from the first movie.
Yeah.
There's a rift. There's kind of a tear between these.
We
these
never
universes.
realized that it was her fight with Peter that led to his death.
Right. Yeah, so everything's kind of reversed, a little bit different. The canon's the same, but it might be portrayed a little bit differently. And so that's kind of the theme
The
throughout
slightest
the movie.
bit of retconning, maybe.
Right, yeah. And so that's kind of the theme that you see throughout this movie is when you meet more and more of these characters that are Spider-Man, but across their universe you see these are generally the guidelines, these are the rules that we follow. So it starts off with Gwen and her universe, and then it jumps into Miles' story.
And the more I think about it now, did it feel more like a Gwen movie than it did a Miles movie?
I wondered if it was how long it was going to sustain that because it began like that, like a Gwen movie.
Yeah, I genuinely thought that it was going to be. I was like, okay.
From her perspective.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought the whole thing was going to be that way.
I felt like a good
Kind of
at
two
least
halves.
a third of it
It's-
was
yeah, it's
definitely
almost like
just,
40,
just
60.
Gwen.
Yeah.
And which I liked. I thought I wasn't going to enjoy that as much, but I liked it just as much.
Well, and it's definitely a misdirect because Miles as a character obviously assumes there's this greater thing, there's this greater organization that's taking care of the universe, and I deserve to be in it. And I think as viewers, we also think that. So we meet Miguel and Gwen. We get back with Peter, and he has a kid, and that's
Good old
wonderful.
Peter B.
Yeah, and so we meet all these different characters, and Miles is like, "Well, why don't I get?" And they're like, "Well, you get a day pass to this Spider-Verse."
He says, "Oh, I didn't know they made those for adults."
"Yeah, I didn't know. I thought they made those for kids."
Dude, when he's like, it's a small group or a small task force, and he shows up. And
Thousand of them.
thousands
Yeah.
of Spider-Man.
So we all
They got the T-Rex Spider-Man in here.
and I think we all as viewers assume like Miles is the center of this universe, and then we realize it's not.
Especially with the reveal that 2099 drops on us.
Yeah,
Miles is the anomaly.
yeah, exactly.
So here's an interesting thought I just had a couple moments ago. Wouldn't Gwen also be an anomaly?
I thought about that, but I think in her universe, because Peter chose to be the villain, I think that.
But did he become the villain because she became the Spider-Man?
Yeah, that's well,
no,
he-
I think
well, he becomes
I
the
think that
anomaly.
He's an
That's why-
anomaly because it's from a different
yeah.
universe.
His spider was from a different
Okay.
universe.
Yeah.
I think
That's
kind of
a
the
good
anomaly.
thought too.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's too far fetched for it to be an anomaly. But I get what you mean.
Because that got to, so whenever they do go to this hub world, Nueva York, and that's Miguel's universe, and they see all of these thousands of different Spider-Man, then all of them are gravitating towards Gwen. They're like, oh, hey, Gwen. Oh, hey, Gwen. So it's like, obviously, like, well, where are the other Spider-Gwens? And it's like, well, why is she the only
Yeah.
one?
Like they say early in the movie, in every other universe, Peter loses Gwen.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
So she's almost like a Jodie Foster, if you will, of
How everyone finds her perfect.
or Sigourney Weaver. Yeah, Sigourney.
Sigourney Foster.
And I do also think, not to get too meta, but I think it's Miles Morales is a little bit of an anomaly in how the story usually goes. I think you could say the same thing about the first movie. Because if you never remember, I mean, this was, Into the Spider-Verse was stuck in production hell for many years.
Yeah.
In between different writers and directors. They weren't really sure what they were going to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so for this to come together and produce what is a beautiful movie and
revolutionary.
at the same time that you had Tom Holland's Spider-Man that was hearkening back to the Miles Morales storyline. This should not have worked.
Neither of them taking away from each other at all.
And it was a right place, right time. And then, dude, the Easter egg that is not really an Easter egg, but to put Donald Glover into this movie.
Yes. So that's what I wanted to ask. I just wanted to ask. Let's highlight a couple and share our favorite. What's your
1000%.
favorite Easter egg?
Man.
Sorry, I'll stop squeaking my chair.
No, you're good.
Anyone
you're good.
answer this? Do not. Everyone stop looking at me.
Well, you started talking.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
just like for the room, man. Like,
yeah, true.
There's a lot. There's so much to choose from. I think from somebody who is not a deep Spider-Man fan,
Same.
I could still feel that they took the
just about
time
all
and
of them.
care and
Yeah.
intentionality to pay to kind of homage to their fans. Like, hey, if you've kept up with us for a while, this is going to mean a lot.
Even when they did the 66 Spider-Man, where he's
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you stop right there," and he's just like still frame
Yeah.
swinging.
I am now in the building. I'm looking around. It's like, why is he talking?
And
like
yeah,
that?
that was so good. I found out that one, the Scarlet Spider,
Yeah.
the one who's like looking at a wall.
Yeah.
This is fine. Wait a minute, that's not. That was Andy Samberg.
Oh, really?
Dude, the voice pulls in this were crazy
I
too.
think my favorite Easter egg, and I know we already kind of referenced this at the beginning, was like the moment when they're like, "Peter, stop!" And they all are like,
Stop, Spider-Man!
Yeah.
You.
Just to,
He's like, no, he's behind you.
No.
As you go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, I think the most I've connected with Spider-Man, and I've always liked the character. I mean, it's one of the first movies I remember seeing is the original Tobey Maguire.
Right.
I was legit like 4 years old and sitting on my dad's lap because the Green Goblin terrified me.
Yes,
But-
it's very scary.
yeah, Willem Dafoe is scary.
That's
is very
like
scary.
one of my first movie memories. That and Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
And from then, I've always liked Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. I'm not a big comic book guy. I
Sure,
watched
but
the
it's
cartoons.
easy to love Spider-Man.
Exactly. But where I've connected with him the most is probably through the video game.
Yeah.
The PS4.
Yeah, the PS4. And seeing him in the background. That
Seeing
just,
Insomniac
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
it just
Oh
made me
my
happy.
His
gosh.
roommate is playing it.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
playing it too.
I leaned over to Bailey. I was like, "You don't know this is a Sony movie?
Yeah.
That's a Sony video
Yeah.
game." And so they're playing it. You know,
Yeah.
I think it's so cool.
Yeah, I platinumed that
And
thing,
he,
dude.
goes, I can't remember what he said when they're running through. He goes, man, this is crazy. Like when they're like all walking through
Yeah.
there, I was like, oh, I love
I
it.
love it because they're like, "Hey, we got Mr. Video Game Man."
Yeah.
Not to be confused with other Mr. Video Game Man. They talk about villains, and he's standing
Yeah.
there. Oh, you're talking about me?
Yeah.
It just says Insomniac Spider. Oh man,
And then I think you texted me about this earlier today, but Nick Novicki is playing
the Lego,
the Lego
Spider.
Spider-Man, dude. Like, what kind of world are
Nick
we living in?
Novicki is awesome. Stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Does a lot of disability filmmaking stuff. Like absolute rock
It's
star
just
in
a
his
small
field.
world moment where you're
It
like,
is,
"That's
it is.
So, it is.
I mean, I don't know if choosing a little person to play the small Spider-Man, but you know,
Yeah, yeah, it was great.
He's, what do you say into the stall? I need a raise.
Yeah.
Didn't change.
I think I'll shout out a really deep pull was seeing Spectacular Spider-Man, because a lot of people kind of feel like Spectacular Spider-Man was the best Spider-Man show.
Yeah.
But they did one season. I think there was 13 episodes. Got canceled. Everyone's still mad about it.
Yeah.
And so putting him in this didn't mean a ton to me. I watched it much later. I watched it because of the hype.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's great. But like that meant a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so them being willing to do that was pretty special, I think.
I liked Spider Kitty, Spider Cat.
Of
hissed
course,
and-
That
Yeah.
was.
And then the ridiculousness. I mean, they're in this hub world, and Miles is trying to get away. And then after he throws the cat off, then a T-Rex comes in. The Spider T-Rex is like, this is like, what is happening?
You got the I like a web slinger, the cowboy.
Yes.
Why does the
Yes.
horse need a mask? To seal his identity.
so, you don't know,
Duh.
so you don't know who he is. It's like it's a horse.
Dude, it's one of those movies that I felt, and I was talking to my buddy Caleb walking out of the movie, like, I could go and buy a ticket for it and sit down and watch it again and be just as happy
Yes.
as I was the first time.
Yeah, move your eyes 5 inches to the right for every scene, and you'll
Yeah.
see something different.
Exactly.
I will say this. And this is not a critique of the movie. This is just
here we go.
The tickets that Tristan bought me. The theater was a little bit quieter, and
No, it's universal.
is it really?
Everyone is struggling to hear some words in
That's
this movie.
difficult. Okay, so I felt like I walked away knowing, okay, I grasped probably about a third of these.
Of the dialogue.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I can't wait to watch it with subtitles.
They
and I
need
felt
subtitles,
like, I
yeah.
felt like every line was an Easter. Like I felt like there was
Yes,
something
yes.
there that I should have been listening. And I heard every third, and I kind of put it together. And I was like, haha, that's funny, or that's really clever, or that's neat. But yeah, that's one thing that I was like, I could probably rewatch this.
Yeah. Well, and the problem with the audio mixing with that is there were also not even just Easter eggs that were quiet. Like at the very beginning, Gwen is going to town on those drums.
Yeah, and you can't.
And she's saying some pretty emotional things.
Mhm.
And she'll be like,
Yeah, exactly.
and then he did this. It's just like, that sounded powerful, but then he did what? Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't hear you.
So I guess that is a little bit of
Her
everybody.
at the beginning, and then Hobie, Spider-Punk.
Oh.
His accent was so thick that if he
Every
wasn't
once in a
talking
while,
loud enough,
he
he
would say
just could
something.
not hear
He would
him.
say something. I'm like, I know you said something really clever. I just don't know.
Because his
I
character
can't
was
hear it.
awesome.
I can't hear you.
So I knew going into the movie that the audio was a thing from talking to people and like the mixing. So I went in like really
Just like,
focused on like
Leaning
I've got to
forward.
hear this and just paying attention. So I really didn't have a hard time hearing it. And sitting there during the movie, I was like, that sounds bad as people thought. But I was only focused on like hearing. You know what I mean? Like
I caught myself-
turned that sense all the way.
See, yeah,
up.
I caught myself taking in the spectacle, like
Mhm.
just because it's such a beautiful, and then I would lose the audio where I'm
Yeah.
even when the music, it's like, man, this music is so good,
Mhm.
but then if somebody's talking, it's like, man, I'm not paying attention.
Well, and it also was tough because there was a point in the movie where you could feel my students kind of unraveling a little bit.
They do,
Yeah.
yeah.
Where
That is a
it
2.5 hour movie.
It was like a 10-minute stretch where you could just. I was like, it's about
There
to
was a
happen.
phone, there was a
Keep
flashlight that came on.
Keep together.
That was
Keep it together.
apparent. That was apparent.
Was that
I
really?
looked over. I was like, "What are they
It was
doing?"
Patrick.
There's a kid
It
down
was
here that's
Patrick.
talking.
Yeah,
He leans over. He goes, "My students are unraveling." I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I feel it. It's
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
kind
Yeah,
of
welcome to student
I
ministry.
had a text him. I was like, "Hey, dude, I know you think you're being quiet, but you're not. So I'm gonna need you to stop talking."
And he
Also-
quieted down, meaning he was looking
I
at
will
his
say
phone.
this: the first maybe 2 minutes of the movie, lights weren't turning off, and I only say this because you brought it up. That what was it last week where you're like, "Man, I don't know if I'm getting older or not." But we sat back there. The Sony pictures comes up and he goes, "Lights aren't turning off," and I was like, maybe they'll turn. He's like, "No, they're not. I'm going." And he gets up and he walks. I was like,
So,
I leaned over. I
Tristan
said,
is
"Dude,
officially this
he's
guy.
40. He is
He's
40.
done it.
Dude, I
He's done it.
sprinted down those stairs too. I
He
didn't want to
did.
miss anything.
And then, like I said, two minutes later, finally they turn off, and then everybody's like, "Woo!" I was like, "Thank you to this 40-year-old man."
yeah,
beside me."
dude, I sat down. I was like, "They don't
You're
even
gonna
know
say
what I
it
did for
funnier
him."
than I could, so you should say what happened when ours started.
Oh man, in our theater that was great. So we watched Dolby, and y'all know Dolby is always like,
You still had a hard time hearing?
dude, yes,
dude, are you
yes.
kidding
We were
me?
also in the back corner.
We were in the
under half
corner.
The speakers,
Yeah,
Oh,
we got
so that
tickets
didn't
pretty
help.
late, and also I probably still didn't pick the best seats. That's on me. We were right under a speaker, but Dolby is always like, "You guys thought you knew what dark screen was, but look how black this screen is." Yeah, so. It does the whole spiel. It does like the fire on the one side. It's got the line in the middle.
Right.
They're like, look at what real visuals is. And it's beautiful. Screen goes dark. And this guy in the other side of the theater goes, "Is it still on?" And the screen just pops up. "Yes, the projector is still on."
Oh wow!
The timing was perfect. And I was like, that was good. And you know what? Theater was perfect the rest of the night. No one was unruly.
Do you think that was a Dolby Atmos salesman that was planted
I mean,
there?
I'm thinking so.
He didn't even take a
Hey.
seat. He just walked out of the aisle by the door and goes, "Is it still on?"
Dude,
And he walked out.
He left. He's like, "I got to go to the pre-screening. I'm good."
As soon as you turned off, he goes, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Ryan, did you have a favorite Easter egg? I'm gonna make sure you get a chance.
See, I didn't grow up on Spider-Man, so not really.
That's fair. But you probably understood. We
I
got to
understood
see
everything,
All
a
three
lot of
live
things.
action ones.
Yeah.
We didn't see Tom, but
Right.
they did say what did they say? Doctor Strange and that
That
nerd
nerd.
from Earth 19999.
I didn't see it, but my brother said that his like original suit was in it somewhere.
Definitely didn't see that.
So
the one with the
I didn't-
goggles.
No, sorry, the original one Stark gives him.
Oh, okay.
So
The very
um,
tiny spider.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but he said it, and also one of my students said there was a Thanos Spider-Man in there, and I was like, I think you just saw a purple Spider-Man.
Yeah.
dude. I was like, I don't think.
There were
He's
some
imagining things.
fascinating looking spider people.
I'm sure if you
Oh,
can
for
think of
sure.
it, it's in there.
I saw a plus size Spider-Man.
I was the
Yeah, we saw him.
thunder thighs.
Mhm.
Their
Yeah,
thighs
that's the
were
first thing I
a
look
little
for.
large.
Or what was the disabled Spider-Man? He's like,
Yeah.
"Do you think it's?" He's like, "I think." He's like, "I'm
was a
disabled."
she.
Or yeah, she's like, "I think you use comedy as a crutch." And then it's like,
Yeah,
"No,
it whacks him with a
no."
crutch. That was good. That
Yeah,
was
I
good.
was
Yeah,
like,
and
that's
that one
really
landed a
funny.
hit too. So
Yeah, that was really funny.
handy capable over here.
Yeah. What do you guys think about? I mean, the story so far. As far like we have Spot.
Let's run it back one more time.
yeah. Played by Jason Schwartzman, who starts off
Killed it.
as a typical, like not even
Villain
typical,
of the week.
He's not even a villain of the week. He's like,
Yeah.
this guy's not even a villain of the
The
week.
Spot
And then he
is
graduates
the
to
most
villain
comical.
of the week. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, he's terrible.
He got
Yeah.
horrifying
He's Dr. Manhattan.
at the end. Yeah,
And yet
Or is it Mr.?
he has a
Doctor.
Okay.
yeah.
Oof.
And yet he doesn't have a ton of, like, he has at the front end, he has a lot of screen time, comedic relief. But then as he gets more and more powerful, we see less of him as Miles kind
he
of
disappeared for like a whole hour.
Which
He
is
did.
almost scary.
I was gonna say,
me.
like, because he disappears from the screen, which means
Mhm.
like but you know he's there, like in the back of your mind.
That's
He's
true.
doing stuff.
And
Yeah.
you saw
But
how strong he
it's,
was.
It's like when the spider goes under the couch and you can't see it anymore.
Oh
Right.
It's
my
like,
goodness! Or a wasp was on
that
your
does
hat.
that does
Or
happen.
a wasp
in
was
this
on your
house.
hat like you had today. Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I wasn't scared because I didn't see it, but
This man had a wasp on his hat. I said, "Hey, what's on your hat?" And he goes, "What are you talking about? It's Cubs." It's Cubs. I'm like, no,
He said, "Fly the W."
the thing crawling on your head, and he thought we were joking. I was like,
"There's
yeah,
a
I'm
bear
not,
cub
dude.
on my head."
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a bear cub.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought the same thing when he wasn't on the screen. You knew that he was making things happen, and every second after, like he had that, future visit with Miles, or showed him what the future was.
Oh yeah.
Every second you weren't with him, it was just like, dude, get back to your plan.
Yeah.
Get
Is he
back to
wreaking
your-
havoc
get back
in
to
your city?
Right, because like I said, the theme is there's canon, there's a certain things that have to happen in your timeline, and so in this one he shows them the future. He's like, hey, the captain of your city's police department is going to die. It's trying to save somebody else, and in Miles's universe, the captain is his dad. Right, he gets promoted.
It's always
up to
him
his
saving
dad.
a kid.
Right.
He sees the vision of him saving the kid.
And so then he does this. He does this in Bollywood's universe.
Maybe
for-
my favorite 15 minutes.
Which
in the
was
movie.
that
Pretty sweet.
pretty awesome.
And voiced by I don't remember his name, but the
Was the guy from Deadpool?
Dopinder from Deadpool.
Okay.
I said that during the movie.
So
I
he
said
did-
it sounded like the taxi guy.
Yeah. And so he does that, and then that kind of he proves he's an anomaly. He disrupts the canon. This creates all sorts of problems because when he disrupts the canon, then the entire universe,
The
that
whole-
particular universe,
yeah.
falls apart.
And
I'm
the whole
s-
planet goes.
I'm still kind of hung up though because I'm like, if he saves his own dad in his own universe, then he shouldn't. Like, to me, it was
Yeah.
if he's the anomaly disrupting somebody else's universe.
Yes.
Then yes, I understand that.
That
It's
was-
his own world.
So that was, I told you guys I had a question I wanted to raise earlier.
Okay.
Do you think his dad is not a canon event because Miles is an anomaly?
Mm.
I mean, he's not a Spider-Man, not Peter Parker.
Right?
But
So if it's
Well,
Peter
there's
Parker's
that.
dad that dies,
well, but
No,
then
it's
you
not
think
well,
Dad.
it's Captain Stacy,
the-
who's not usually related
Yeah.
to.
It's a
Bizarre.
captain
Yeah.
that's close to
Yeah.
Peter Parker
Yeah.
or Spider-Man, I think is what they said.
But it's also the only captain we've
They clean that up.
ever seen that's not Captain Stacy. Also.
right.
That's
well,
true.
okay, so refresh me. What happens? It's been a while since I saw the first movie.
Yeah.
What happens to Miles's world's official Spider-Man?
He dies trying to stop Kingpin.
Yep.
Gotcha.
But he
gotcha.
dies because he has to save Miles
Right.
Yep.
while he's
yeah,
trying
well,
to get
at least
Kingpin or
that's
something
at
like
least
that.
that's what Miguel says. Miguel
Yeah.
says,
Which he's
"You're
also
Peter
a sour
Par-
puss.
"Yeah, he is."
So that
he
was
says,
justifiably
"You're
so.
Peter Parker. Your
Justifiably
Peter
so.
Parker died because you got bit."
Right.
Yeah.
And
Chris Pine.
if you went back and Chris Pine, yep. If you went back and watched, I'm not sure. I mean, I hate to say it. I think Kingpin just kind of beat him.
Well,
Kingpin
okay,
and
so,
Green Goblin just
that's
kinda beat him.
that's kind of my
Yeah.
bigger question. We can talk about this later, but I'm projecting as to where this beyond the Spider-Verse.
Yep.
I think
Next
Miguel,
one.
Three?
I,
Yeah.
I think Miguel is going to be the main antagonist. I think
Yeah.
Spot's
I
kind
do
of
too.
a puppet.
Vampire.
Yeah,
Miguel,
which is so cool.
he's the head. He's kind of the head of this organization that is keeping everything on track. And
Well, he
by,
says.
by his own
Yeah,
standard.
yeah,
Yeah.
right, exactly. No, he is
Oh,
very
he's
much
setting it
he's
up.
yeah,
really
he's
got
not.
some-
He's
he's
not
very
a villain.
Drop that mic
But
over
he's
there,
the
Tristan.
antagonist.
exactly. Yeah, and he's very militant. He's very much
You
like
see,
my
he
way
has,
to the
you
highway.
see, he has to get bit by a spider.
He
keep-
like
to
puts
keep
in the
it going.
blood. Yeah.
Well, they keep the vampire stuff down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, also it regenerated. Wait, no,
I think
probably
it's
did.
just to.
He
fight
probably
the
just
urge.
moved. I thought it regenerated his suit.
Dude, didn't
he
you see
probably
Renfield?
just opened up a
Didn't you
spot
see
for-
Renfield?
Yeah,
He's probably just putting bugs in him.
I loved Renfield. Okay,
That movie stunk.
Anyway,
Did
so
not.
I
I'm saying it's
do,
great.
I think. I mean, I know he's going to play obviously a larger part.
of course he is. It's Oscar Isaac.
But I do think he's going to end up overtaking whatever spot Jason Schwartzman's
Sure.
character. But
You think Spot might resolve fairly early in 3?
I could see that.
I could too.
Yeah.
They're setting it all up to be like, man,
Just,
he did get
because-
scary. He got
I think
real
because we
scary.
didn't see as much screen time out of him. Like I feel like if he had some sort of ultimatum, and I understand the ultimatum is your dad's going to die, but there's not really an ending conclusion to that at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
and that probably is ultimately what's going
Whereas-
to make 2099 the villain.
But-
whereas Miguel's hot on his heels.
Yeah.
And because I think because he's the anomaly, I don't think his dad is a canon event.
Oh,
But Miguel O'Hara will not let that
Yeah.
slide either way.
where is Miguel? Is he on Miles is
Him.
they're
Well, Gwen
where
kicked-
Miles is supposed to be.
Yes, Gwen kicked Scarlet Spider out.
Oh, that's
So-
right.
So it should right now should just be 2099 and Jess, pregnant motorcycle spider woman. Those I think are the only two on Miles's world.
And then
Miles is kidnapped in 42. Gwen is probably heading to 42, but she got the team together, so she's not there yet.
Well, and taking a step back here, like
hopefully they kill Peter Porker.
No, you just say that because you don't like John
I
Mulaney.
hate that guy.
Spider Bacon.
Yeah,
I was
love
hoping.
it.
I was hoping we get one Nick Cage line, but we didn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
They did say he was not in this movie.
Couldn't
Go ahead.
afford it.
Sorry, go ahead,
yeah,
Tristan.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So ready. Look at Miguel's logic, right? He's saying that in every universe, Spider-Man suffers loss, and he is trying to protect this timeline, and so he is trying to prevent. I don't know. His logic doesn't make sense because if every Spider-Man suffers loss, then every Spider-Man will suffer loss, and yet he's going out of his way to make that happen as if it were like cause and effect, like causing. Like causing that loss intentionally will keep the timeline intact.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's
Well,
a natural thing, it's a natural thing.
Well, I'll say this. I think just kind of same thing but different. Same but different.
Yeah.
He's letting it happen by letting Spot be the cause of Miles's death, father's death. The problem with that is that Spot is now becoming an anomaly because he's causing disruptions across all of the universe.
Oh, that's very
which,
true.
which
I think
can
Ma-
be traced back to Miles.
Yeah, I think that's Miguel's. He's got
Yeah,
tunnel
that's his
vision,
logic.
right?
But it
He's
can be
like, this is
but it can be
Miles'
traced
fault.
back to Spot because Spot brought the spider.
Yeah.
But Peter B threw the bagel.
Right. I also think that we've talked about this before on the podcast with Everything Everywhere All at Once. and
Also,
then,
very bagel oriented.
yes, all super bagel oriented, and then one of the last Avengers movies, but or MCU movies. But I think this does a really good job of just showing off the idea of the multiverse.
Yeah.
The
Well,
theory
Ryan,
of
what
multiverse
did you say about Multiverse of Madness in this?
Uh-oh. Here we
What
go.
do you always
Aliens
say
up,
about
aliens
Multiverse of
falling.
Madness?
Well, what I always say about Multiverse of Madness, it wasn't mad enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this was.
This was more
Yeah.
along the lines of what that should have
As long as it makes sense, like I got an idea of like, okay, this makes sense to me. Like explain it to me like I'm 5. I'm on board.
And they did.
Whereas like there's some MC movies that don't do that as well, or even like just across the never. It just feels like the multiverse is like a common theme to bring up now.
Yep.
And it's like you
Yeah,
can
even
do
look
it
at
really
the
well or
DC
really-
with the Flash is about to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And
Or I guess that's timelines.
well, I mean, yeah,
Similar
Same,
idea.
same
Similar,
different.
similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just past tense. But anyway, I feel like this did a really good job of that.
It did.
You know,
It did.
and it had fun with it, man. That's
so
the,
much fun.
That is the thing that I took away from this movie. Is like going back to that. Like for any audience member, it's like, man, it's the themes they're dealing with is very, very heavy, but at the same time, they're having a lot of fun. Like I really enjoyed like his dad's promotion party. You know, when he's going to become a captain.
the cake. I'm not proud.
I'm not proud. At some level, I'm like, man, Miles, how much of this thing is already like this mantle of Spider-Man has already consumed you that you can't even show up to your own dad's like party.
And you're justifying it like,
Express your support.
oh, remind me that as a teenager, why don't you?
Yeah.
I think that also shows the kind of the immaturity of him
Yeah,
at the time.
Sure,
Like,
that's what I. Yeah, that's what I
because
meant.
it's like he's literally stopping, which again, be a good guy, be a good superhero, but he's stopping every little
Right.
thing on the way. Like, hey man, guys running out with shoes,
Probably don't need to.
you know, let him get a win.
The cop.
you know,
the
like-
cop probably will get him.
Yeah, exactly. So
Which-
just like get where you have to be and show up for the big things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And be there for
Well,
those things.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you got it.
So think back to the first movie. There was already a Spider-Man in that world who had gone through the evolution of
Yep.
little things up to the big things that matter. Miles got pulled straight
Yep.
in. He didn't go through that evolution himself. And so I just feel like that must have had some impact on him
Mhm.
where everything feels big
Yep.
to him.
Well, especially with the loss of the first Spider-Man,
Yeah.
everything feels like his
Well,
responsibility.
and I think we all. Sorry to get meta again, but we all feel that the tyranny of the
Yeah.
urgent, where it's like even for us. I mean, it's like young guys. I'm sure we've all been in that situation where we've sacrificed family time that we should have been at because we had either this work thing or whatever it is.
Yeah,
whatever it is like, I've got to do this because it is triple exclamation points, urgent.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, we're not Spider-Man, but we still feel that pull, and it is a sense of maturity. Like, we have to grow into that maturity of understanding, like, hey, man, turn your email off.
What takes priority over family?
Right.
Someone needs saving.
Yeah, and it's like in every other Spider movie, I'll talk about Tom Holland, but the first one is all about him learning how to be Spider-Man and growing into that. The beginning of the movie is him doing those little petty things.
Right.
He stopped that ATM thing, but most of it's just him doing these little petty things and wanting to do the big stuff, where Miles just gets thrown into the big stuff, like Tristan said, and he just has to do it, And Tobey Maguire, you see him jumping, roof to roof, and he's practicing being Spider-Man. What does that look like?
Yeah.
All that stuff. And
Andrew Garfield, same thing.
You get the same thing, and they work their way up. Where Miles, he literally has to save the universe.
And I think this kind of is
or
a
at
coming.
least his.
Yeah,
Good thing he's got a good pair of Jordans.
coming of age story. Coming of age story for him, because he does feel like, well, if I do let this shoplifter go, that's the end of the world, right? And it's like, no, you can let him go. But at the same time, he doesn't know that because he is so scared to bring that up to his parents. Like, hey, here's who I am. Here's how I really am. When it's like, man, if you just came and told us the stuff that you're dealing with, it's like, we could kind of guide you. I mean, your dad's a cop. He can kind of talk you that you can let this guy go with, to make it to my party. You know what I mean?
Yeah. His dad's going to say, yeah, there are still officers out there doing their job,
exactly.
dude.
You're taking away their job.
Yeah, truly.
We're laying off so many guys because of you.
It's like, dude, worry about the big stuff. Worry about the medium stuff.
Well, one of the best conversations is that very early on with Miles.
Spread his wings.
Is that the Miles and his dad talking?
Right after the introduction of the spot.
He's like, my son, he's so smart, but he can be so stupid. He's like, well, I don't. I love that because it is like a sense of honesty for both of them. Like, neither one of them is going to be as honest as they can without the mask.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is this kind of moment for them both to kind of air out, like, well, maybe if you thought about this. He's like, nah, that can't be it.
Yeah. And just think about us, like, if we're a fly on the wall and our parents are talking about, like, growing up, and it's like, yeah, he's a great kid, but he could be an animal sometimes.
Yeah, but you learn so much from those conversations.
Exactly.
You can actually grow from that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like, that was actually an opportunity where they could, like, take something real away.
Like, tell me
Gosh,
what's
they
going on.
really,
Tell me,
like, just give it to me. Be blunt.
Yeah. Another thing
they
I
really
loved about this movie is I was talking to a friend about it today, where even if you didn't see the first one, they did such a good job.
Why are you laughing?
Just look at your face.
Oh, you talking to a friend? You were talking to me about it.
Because Jacob was going to bring it up. Jacob was going to bring it up.
I already passed it. You go ahead.
Oh, it was
You
actually.
take it,
I think it was Bailey talking to you, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, if you didn't see the first one.
She had not seen the first one. I said, hey, do you want to go see this movie? We're going to see it tonight. So she jumped along. But anyway.
Yeah, and you don't miss much because they do such a good job bringing that movie along with this one and kind of, talking about what's going on from the previous one and then this. And
I thought that was impressive. I thought that the way that
their recapping abilities.
the recap, it almost felt like a video game. Like, hey, here's what happened last time.
That's true.
And even
sprinkling in some new.
Yeah, even some of the Spider-Verse mechanics, she was even like, okay, so what's Miles' thing? How can he jump across Spider? And kind of even the gaps from the first one that it didn't quite fill in the second one, they were totally minimal. Like, it's like you can go without it and still enjoy the movie for what it is.
Yeah, and go Marty, because mine's irrelevant.
Mine's not. At least it's similar.
Mine's way less irrelevant. Way less relevant.
So I was like Kroger the other
Mine's
day.
way less irrelevant. I was just gonna say, like, I've talked to a lot of people that are like, I need to rewatch the first one.
Yeah,
it's like, you should rewatch the first one because it's amazing, but you don't need to as much as you think you do.
Yeah. I was going to say, we talked a couple weeks ago about one of my first interactions at Rolling Hills was telling the kids that we had
Great
the
story.
new Spider-Verse
Great
movie.
story.
And
so crazy.
I will say that if we had this movie then, it would have been the best day ever. They would have had a great
would
time.
They though? Would they? Let me tell you what
You
happened.
think?
Because we're watching it, and then as soon as it ends with
that's
Miles he learns he's in the wrong universe. Gwen's like, oh my goodness, he's in the wrong universe because he gets blasted to Earth 42 because that's where his spider DNA is at. So he realizes he's in the wrong universe.
Which was super cool.
Oh, this whole final, I mean, it's the last, 10
final
minutes?
act.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it's definitely. And so then you find out that Miles
So
Morales' character, so in his universe, his uncle is Prowler. He dies in the first movie. Spoilers, you need to go watch it. And but in this universe, in Earth 42, his uncle is he's kind of he's like his henchman for Prowler.
Yeah,
He's like kind of the planner, but then Prowler is Miles Morales in this world.
Which do you think that the uncle was Prowler, and then he
Passed
kinda
on the
handed
mantle?
on?
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah,
And
he's
then- and
he's
then now,
mentoring him.
Yeah.
because he's small and it's good for stealing stuff or thieving.
That's exactly. So anyway, he's got him captured. So that's kind of how the movie ends with Miles Morales as Prowler, and then our Miles Morales in our world. And he's got him tied up, and he's about to beat him up. And then Gwen's got like, oh man, I gotta go save him because I don't know what's going on. But anyway, so so right before that ending, when Prowler Morales punches the bag that he's that.
Which was so cool.
Anyway, and so then
Tears a chunk out of the bag.
Tristan just says to be continued, and then literally 2 seconds later, it cuts to be
Yep,
continued.
it gets, yep, you
And
see.
dude, the amount of students that ran up to him and said, "What do you know? Why did you say that?" they were like, "Why did you say that? You know it was gonna be." He's like, "I didn't know anything. I don't know anything."
Martha, why'd you say that name?
He started why'd you say that name?
Yeah.
He started a riot, and we're like, "Dude, that was wild."
They were like, you always see the movie
You
before
always-
us. I was like, I didn't this time.
You're like,
This
no,
is
man,
my
I
first-
just checked the runtime,
This
okay?
is my first time.
Yeah.
Dude, I had texted a parent. So during that final act, when it's like building up and she's building the team and all that, I was like, I told parents 10:15, and it didn't feel like it was ending anytime soon.
Because you think he's gonna go take on Spot. She's gonna come
Exactly.
back, save him, go to take on Spot.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I thought they were just going to wrap it up really quick.
Yeah.
And so I literally texted a parent and I said, hey, I was way wrong. It's probably going to be 10:30 or 10:45. And then 30 seconds later, the movie, and I said, JK, come get your kid. The movie's over.
Unreal. All that to say, if you think about it, if you did do that, you show them Across the Spider-Verse, best day ever, whatever. What was that, 6 months ago?
Yeah.
They would have rioted, dude.
Yeah, they would have lost their mind.
They'd be like, "Where's part 3? Give me part 3."
You're like, you had this one.
yeah,
You gotta sit-
you're right.
You got to sit with that for the next 12 hours.
Well, if you guys remember, this was originally branded as part 1.
I don't remember.
Oh,
that.
was it?
Thank goodness most people don't remember that, but I,
didn't know
do,
that.
sadly. I forgot in the moment because it was such a good movie. But yeah, this was called Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 when the first trailer dropped.
Oh, wow.
My jaw dropped when it happened.
Mine
didn't.
too, and I remember it.
Yeah, I didn't.
I've never seen. Well, even everybody in the theater was like that too. They're like, I can't remember the last time that I've seen a movie do that with its ending and see the reaction from everybody in the theater was shocked.
Infinity War?
Well, Infinity
No.
War, you knew Endgame was coming.
Yeah, that was.
That's true.
There's never. I mean, not to say
That's
never,
true. They
sorry.
didn't just
It's-
stop the story.
that
It's
was-
been a long time since people have, because most of the stuff's like pretty open. You
Dude,
know
yeah.
what the plan is.
Dude,
This
the only
is
one
a
that's coming.
hard cut.
Yes.
The only one that's coming to mind is Back to the Future 2.
Honestly,
No,
Yeah.
because I was talking to Caleb about this on the way out because he was asking like, "What did you feel like that during Infinity War?" And it was no. I was stunned and shocked in a different way
Yeah.
that like we lost
Yes,
And-
hopelessness.
and we hadn't felt that. I remember sitting in the theater in Murray, Kentucky, with my wife, fiance then, and nobody.
I'm not gonna fact check you.
Sorry, it didn't. Well, how long ago did that movie come out?
Homie,
29 was Endgame 2019?
Endgame would have been.
Infinity
It had to be
War.
2019.
So Infinity War.
Infinity War would have been 18.
Yeah, and fiance.
Look,
We
man,
were
just-
engaged in
Look,
2018.
man, we're not.
You're gonna tell me there's a place in Kentucky called Murray?
She went to Murray State.
Jamal.
Did she really?
Murray-
Yes,
Murray
in
State.
Murray, Kentucky.
Murray State's in
I
Kentucky.
didn't know she went to Murray State.
Yeah.
Murray
She
State's,
graduated.
Murray State's in
Hey,
Kentucky.
hey,
Yeah.
You're coming at me. You're out of
Dude.
pocket right now, dude.
Yeah, dude. I'm sweating now.
Jamal Murray State.
No. Anyways, we're in this little podunk town watching this movie, and I just remember the whole theater just being like nobody moved. Well, because there's
Dude, yeah, no one moved.
Silent.
Yeah.
It was
No one
silent.
we
moved.
didn't. We just sat there and like we're
It was like
looking
a
around.
funeral.
It
Like,
was.
is anyone else
Yes.
like
100%.
turning to dust right now? Is that just in the movie?
Yeah, the whole theater's turned
What's
to dust.
going on? And we saw it. We were
Which
supposed to see it at like
Pretty special.
Oh, yeah. And we were supposed to see it at like 8:00, but we went to Martin, Tennessee to go to some milkshake place. Missed that showtime. I was almost
Tell
in
me-
tears.
Tell me more.
It was good.
Where
The grind.
Brett Favre's nephew played.
No, it's not where he was taking money. Oh, wait, what? No, so yeah, it was a whole thing. So I remember it's such a dumb story. We got there and they're like, it's an hour and a half.
You're in
late.
it now, dude.
And I had bought these tickets early, right, to make sure we had seats or whatever. And there was no way we were going to make it back in time. And I started tearing up a little bit. She's like, it's just a movie. I was like, shut your mouth.
Oh man,
You don't know. Because she wasn't
You said,
really,
we're not married yet. You can't say that.
She wasn't as into the MCU yet. And then she just
Right.
got us tickets later. And then we went and I cried at the end of that movie. So a
Amen,
lot of
brother.
crying that day.
it was that Infinity War felt like honestly like our the Good Friday service that we had where it was like
You may now
these-
exit quietly.
Yeah, exactly. It felt like that, but everybody was like, "Wow, that was wild."
That was
That was religious experience.
yeah, it was. That's what I'm
it
saying.
was
like
good
a
and it
funeral.
was awesome. And I remember them
Oh,
talking
Good Friday
to
was
us
too.
about how like that service was going to go. And I guess I didn't process it or understand what they were saying. And when it happened, I was like,
So it's like if you didn't know that Endgame was happening.
yeah.
Yes, and you walked into Infinity War, that could be tough. That could be really tough. Well, so did you guys like the to be continued, like the cut?
Yes.
I felt violated, but yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
You
Yeah.
said yesterday. You said I felt offended. Or
Is that
was
what I
it-
said?
Yeah, you're
No,
like,
no,
dude,
no.
that was kind of offensive.
That's
Oh,
that.
I did
Yeah.
see that.
I didn't like the surprise of it. It was like I hated it because it felt like
Yeah.
a hard cut, and hard cuts suck. Cliffhangers suck.
Yeah.
But I was so relieved that they didn't wrap it up in
Yeah.
15 minutes. Like that was the biggest thing. I was like, if you
Yeah,
guys wrap this, and
We
tie
got
a
3
bow
more
on-
hours of this.
Yeah.
And
Well-
I would have sat there the whole
Oh,
3 hours and been
So,
happy to
I was
do it.
I was talking to a
Come
talking
get
to
your kid at 1 a.m.
I was talking to a friend today, and by friend I mean Tristan. And
Oh, God. Was it Keith?
because he did that to me. I think the ending was fine. It was appropriate. I think that it felt a little bit sudden because there was about 10 minutes there, a little bit before the third act, where it kind of drug a little bit. They they really drug it out, and I think because of that, the pacing of the movie as a whole, you're thinking, oh, this like the last scene of this movie they drag out. And so then what would naturally be in any other movie, you would think, oh, this is leading to a conclusion, right? This is leading to a to be continued scene. But because we had 2 or 3 others back to back that were a little bit more drugged out, you don't actually anticipate that given
Yeah.
the rest of the average pace of the movie. And so I think there was this didn't necessarily need to be a 2 hour, 20-minute movie. I think it could have been 2 hours. I think the whole, this is one example I was talking to Tristan about was, the space elevator whenever he's
Yeah.
running from Miguel. I think
From
you could-
Elysium. Yeah.
You can Elysium from Matt Damon.
That's 2 quotes in the last.
I had to
3
bring it up,
episodes, I
yeah.
think.
We've got to
No,
review
that's
it.
back to back,
We've got
I
to
think.
talk about it at this
Oh, yeah,
point.
because Jodie Foster was in Elysium. That's back to back
Sigourney.
Elysium.
I think you could have cut that whole section in half simply because leading up to it, like I think in the moment I was thinking, all right, this is a little bit long in the tooth, but I'm okay with it. But then knowing on the back half of that what's going to end this movie, you got to cut that because the pacing
It just
feels
it
weird.
hurts. It hurts
feels weird.
it hurts the rewatchability ultimately.
Yeah.
Well, yes, there's that, but I also see why they did it because I forget who says it, but like when he's
Spider-Man.
It's a good day.
Bible study answer.
Save that.
Or Sunday school.
Pretty good. There's a lot of them. So.
Say Jesus
Okay,
or Paul.
So they're running up the space elevator or whatever that thing is,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's chasing, and then he dips and goes back to HQ.
To the go home machine.
Yeah.
And like that part was kind of a reveal in and of itself. Like, okay, where's he going? What is he trying
plan.
to do? And so it kind of felt like he was going towards something, and that was kind of the journey toward whatever he was doing.
Right.
And so while it was a little bit like they did drag it out a little bit, I didn't mind it because of how they resolved that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mind it either. I just think that's why it felt the cut at the end felt so sudden because
Yeah.
you're used to this.
Mhm.
Like you're like this whole second
Sure.
half of the movie felt like these longer.
Yeah. Okay.
Extents.
Nobody throw anything at me, right?
Okay.
This is not criticism of the movie,
Well,
but it's not. I promise. Do you remember in The Last Jedi? Again, nobody throw.
oh geez.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not allowed to criticize Last Jedi.
He's like, I think that could have been 2 hours.
Or the general's like, they got 2 hours of oil or gas reserves. Oh, we're gonna watch all 2 hours.
Yeah,
of
and
it.
we watched all 2 hours of it. Yep.
Okay, but you know how they go back to that salt planet,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And when they land, they finally get there. I thought that should have been the end of the movie.
Right.
And then there was another hour.
There
Yeah.
is.
Like,
Yeah.
And so when they like, that's what I was expecting right after that. I literally was like, oh, this feels like Last Jedi. And so I think
I'm
that's
sorry
why,
you felt that way.
I think that's why the cut was so hard, because it played with you.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like it plays with like the lexicon of how movie flow works.
Yeah.
And they nailed it. They
Yeah.
did such a good
I
job.
think they nailed
And
it.
then you also think like Miles's like the people who he looks up to the most do nothing but let him down.
That's true.
This
Yeah.
like
All the time.
the whole movie. Basically.
Well, and I think that is
whole scene's betrayal.
they kind of wrap it up with even though he goes to the wrong universe, that is kind of his epiphany, is that, hey, my family in Brooklyn is all that I've got. Even when I understand that I'm a misfit, but even among misfits, the Spider-Man,
Mhm.
air quote, like even among them, he's like, I don't fit in. So I know that, who do I still have left? Oh, my
Yeah.
flesh and blood.
Yeah.
You know?
And he tells his mom, quote unquote,
Right.
I stood up to them, Mom. They didn't want me, like you said, but I stood up and I belong.
Yeah.
Like I was able to do that. And of course she was like,
What are you talking
what are you talking about? Where's your dreads?
Dude, when she said what happened to your hair, I was like, what happened in the Spider-Verse to do that?
I was like, did Miguel's sharp elbows cut his hair?
I thought maybe when he jumped through that like exhaust through the end, at the end of it, like I was
Yeah.
like, did he get like grease or something? I was like, is he dirty? I don't.
Uh,
That was a really good twist.
that
I
was
like
super good because
Yeah.
the whole time I was thinking, obviously we see Aaron, so it's like, oh, he's in a different universe. But it's like, why aren't they freaking out? Because I remember when he got bit, he got bigger. He got thicker, he
Yeah.
got taller.
Right.
And plus it's been another year. So it's
Yeah.
like, shouldn't they be freaking out that this guy is, I mean, Miles is probably like, I don't know, 5'10".
I think they. Oh,
And he probably should have been like 5'6".
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Oh, because he's the prowler.
yeah. I lost my train of thought. So
All right. Well,
what? What's that?
we gotta find another
Or
number.
did we just do this again? We haven't done that in a while.
We haven't random
We do
number
the random
generator.
You know
Yeah.
what? I've got another like Easter egg, or not
Yeah.
really,
yes,
but
yeah.
Go ahead.
You guys are gonna have to help me. I don't remember if it was
I haven't
when he
either.
was fighting
Okay, go
Spot
ahead.
at the beginning of the movie, and just like playing with the portals. When he gets like, I think hit with his own web on it, he gets it on
Yeah.
his face. And I just thought it was so funny. He was like, "Man, this is the first time he's ever been on the receiving
Yes,
end of that."
I thought the same thing.
Oh,
What did
that's
he
how that
say to
feels.
him?
Yeah.
Not Spot, but what did the guy at the bodega say to him when he was trying to get it off?
Oh, I can't remember.
He
I
said
know.
something, and
I don't know.
It was a good line.
because it was on like 3 and I needed it on 10. I need the volume on 10. I don't know.
it was a good line. I thought.
But then, oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh, we were talking kind of about his like Miles's getting dropped or kind of like starting at full speed because he gets pulled because there's already Spider-Man who's been doing this, went through that journey. He gets pulled in at like step 7 on that ladder, and he just kind of goes. And I think he has this like in the first movie and the beginning of the second, he has this overconfidence that he can do everything, that he
Yeah.
is the
Mhm.
solution. And then like over time stuff like starts breaking down. And like he can't defeat Spot. He's
Yeah.
like you just see that even from the first like goofy scene is like, okay, Spider-Man can never defeat this guy. Like
Mhm.
even from the start, even when he's a goofy villain, like he can't defeat Spot. But then like later you see this journey like where his mom speaks into him with like the like you can do this.
Right.
And
Mhm.
it changes from like overconfidence at the beginning into like a more mature like I can't do everything, but I'll get
But
there.
I belong.
But
Well,
I-
th-
yeah.
there's a couple interesting. Now that you mentioned that, there's a couple interesting moments for me that I just really hung on to. One is go back to the conversation with his dad when his dad doesn't know he's talking to his son, but when he's like, man, no matter what I do, someone always thinks I'm screwing it up or something like that. And it's like,
This guy's
I know-
must become captain.
yeah,
Such a good point.
I think I resonate. I'm like, man, I feel
Clearly
like,
not your higher ups.
but I think for us as men, like we've been there. We're like, no matter what, and it's certainly going to happen again as we get older. But it's like, no matter what we do, we're always going to screw it up. And so I think Miles is learning that. And then the other side of that, where it's like he meets the team that he wasn't supposed to be a part. He wasn't invited, right? And so you see all these folks that are trying to fight off Spot, But what does Spot want? No, Spot wants Miles Morales, right? So where everybody else says, hey, stay out of this, stay in your lane. You're not invited to this thing that we've got going on. It's like, no, dude, Spot wants me, so I've got to meet the challenge, regardless of what anybody else says.
Right. Even if it's not so, even if it shouldn't have happened, even if it's against the canon, whatever.
Right.
Like, okay, it's real. Somebody's got to respond.
Right. When Spot when he starts putting himself in the atomic collider, that was when it hit for me, where I was like, okay, we've just met a couple new characters, and we have some semblance of a team back together. We get grunge Batman or grunge Spider-Man, and then Bollywood Spider-Man and Gwen, and it's like, oh man, there's a team, and it's like, yeah, but no, he's looking at Miles like, this is, I want you guys to know I'm coming to screw up your universe so that I can take out Miles. Like, he's the target of everything that I
Right.
And so then it's like, okay, how am I going to meet the challenge, right?
Did he get bit before the other Spider-Man died or after?
Before.
Because
remember, Peter goes, "You're just like me," because they have the sense at the same time.
So this is the question then: if that Peter Parker doesn't die, and that is his mentor, and it's not Peter B. Is he
a lot more? Yes.
Is
he's so much more capable
Spider-Man
and human being?
Yeah.
Yes.
Be able to handle that.
Yeah.
Right.
I do want to.
That's kind of like Qui-Gon dying and Obi-Wan having to train Anakin.
Sure.
Not that he's going to be.
Is this your shameless play to talk about how Phantom Menace is the best Star Wars?
No, I don't think that.
Thank you. I thought we were about to get into this.
No.
Again.
Did you watch that video though?
No, dude.
I do
I'll
want
watch
to.
it later.
I do want to point out. I do talk about the video games for a second.
Yeah.
Because
I want to replay both of them.
So bad.
And then Spider-Man
Miles
2.
obviously introduced in Spider-Man PS4, gets his own game, and is going to be half of Spider-Man 2. Huge deal. What a way to play with expectations because of his dad.
Yeah.
And
also tease Craven. That's going to be in that game. And he's getting his own movie here soon.
So good. That's right.
But
which
also
he probably doesn't need, but
building the hype for, was it Taylor? Who's playing him? Johnson. He was in
the guy from Bullet Train.
Bullet Train, yeah. Aaron
Taylor Johnson? Yeah.
He's a good. Yeah, I love him.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah. I mean, to be using the video games and the movies like this together to work with each other, it's so impressive.
And even every other movie.
Yeah.
I was expecting Toby and Andrew to show up in a different, in a more significant role, just because.
Yeah.
Why not?
But they were just like, look at this example of this thing that needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Super impressive.
But also, Toby's wasn't a captain.
No, but they highlighted separately. Some have Uncle Ben, some have Captain Stacy.
I think they both had both. But
Who's
the
Toby's
uncle
both?
was always first.
Toby doesn't
And the
have
captain always came later.
Toby doesn't have a captain.
Doesn't have captain.
Which, because there was.
It was no, that was Garfield's.
There was a Gwen Stacy. There was a Captain Stacy.
There was a Captain
Yeah.
Stacy. I don't remember who
It
played
just
him.
was.
That was in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he
And-
doesn't die.
Right.
Nah, just kind of wasted character.
Mm-hmm.
I will say.
Does Miles' uncle cancel that out? So, like you said, does that make?
Well, that's the other question. Is he a canon event because he's an anomaly, or did his uncle cover it? But Andrew Garfield had lost both. He lost Ben and Captain Stacy.
Yeah, but Martin Sheen's expensive.
That's true.
Yeah,
I don't imagine Quaid's much cheaper.
Yeah, no,
That wasn't
Leary.
Quaid.
Leary.
Thank you, Dennis
No,
Leary.
dude,
Dennis
Garfield
Leary.
had it rough. He lost his
Everyone.
uncle, Captain Stacy,
Yeah.
and
Gwen.
Gwen. Like,
And Gwen.
Yep.
that's
And
a
he's got stuck with Sally
Can I
Fields.
just throw out a?
It was great.
He was awesome.
Can I throw out a not to nitpick, but I
No.
don't need to see it anymore. I don't need to see the helicopter and shooting the webs to save it. I've seen it enough times.
Yeah, I had
Or
to. I had to play it.
or the whatever the city bus or the ferry.
Yeah.
I don't need to see that.
Okay,
anymore.
I'm sick of the. I'm sick of the bus.
I'm-
Shang-Chi and Multiverse of Madness within 6 months of each other.
It's like if you're in the
I'm bust
MCU,
out,
guess
man.
what? If you're in New York MCU, there's buses
Don't-
falling everywhere.
don't get on the
You
bus,
better have-
man.
You better have some sort
Don't
of
get on
canopy,
the bus.
canopy to save it.
because your bus is getting cut in
And
half.
so I think that luckily this is like whatever in the first.
Dude, the Eternals, a bus.
No one watched that.
Well, in the first 15 minutes of this movie, where it's like, it's the helicopter. And then I was waiting for literally these quick time events for me to
Dude,
grab
for
my
sure.
controller and stop
Dude,
it.
where's Martin Lee right now?
Wait,
Like,
but wasn't in Spider-Man 2 like that? You guys remember that as a kid when he stops that train?
Oh,
One of
yeah,
the,
it's
one
one
of the
of the best
coolest
scenes.
scenes. One of the coolest
He's got his
scenes.
arms
that,
And
out.
it
like,
was so cool until Tom Holland did it with a fairy.
Oh, Tom Holland failed.
not the same. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he failed, but he tried it. It was
That's
the
true.
same.
That's true.
And there's 180 people who are in on Toby's secret who won't tell.
That's true. He's just a kid, no older than my son. This is a 33-year-old man.
I get it. I just don't think it's clever anymore, and they want it to be clever. And I'm like,
the
I don't
best.
think they do. I think it's almost like a trope thing.
It is a
it's
trope.
just
And,
like
and thinking about how like maybe that's just one of those lexicon things. Like has to happen.
Yeah,
and
that's
everything.
true.
Like,
Mhm.
That's
it's,
true.
It's
canon.
like, yeah, it's like a line it's a common thread.
Well, the cool thing.
That's what the
was-
director wants you to believe.
That's true.
Like, oh, this is just like Return or what's Rise of the Jedi or what's the first episode
Rise of Skywalker.
7? No, episode 7, the first one.
Oh, Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. Like,
yeah.
yeah, it's just episode 4. Like, yeah, it's canon.
Yeah.
It's like it's supposed to happen. All right, JJ
That's
Abrams.
so funny.
Yeah, man, that was good. All right, well, what we got?
You want to reveal then rank, or
Well,
rank then reveal?
Let's reveal.
My last
Wait.
note. We got the coolest callback to the first movie. Team assemble right at the end. And I thought that was
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the OG squad.
The OG squad.
I heard Nicolas
Yeah.
Cage was not in this, and he was not. Spider-Man Noir
Well, his
was.
persona was. No, I do. I kind of and just because you mentioned that, I wanted to. It's a quick turnaround. We watched it last night, and then we're recording tonight. I did kind of want to watch, go back and watch the first one. So I'm sure I will sometime in the next week or so.
Absolutely.
Inevitably that'll be like, man, I should have mentioned this
Be
in the
left
podcast,
in
but
the dust.
it is what it is.
Stuck
But
by you.
like now he has his crew. Like this whole movie.
You know that's the crew.
his whole movie. He's been trying to belong somewhere. Like for some
It's-
reason
he's gonna go study interdimensional
Right,
physics
and-
because
yeah.
of it.
right. Like for some reason, T-Rex Spider
Yeah.
belongs, but Miles doesn't.
Yeah.
Like he's feeling that,
And that's
and
just
now
Miguel.
and at the end, he like finally has his crew. He doesn't know it
He
yet.
doesn't
but he will.
belong because he's an anomaly and a mess up in Miguel's
So
eyes.
Miguel
and
says.
that's the only reason.
And
Well,
we
those are the
trust Miguel
characters that
because
are
he's
like,
got sharp
we're gonna do it.
elbows.
because
yeah,
it's
we're gonna go get him.
every Spider-Man is a part of that task force, but
Who-
him. There's like not a Spider-Man that's not. It's only him.
No, there are.
For
We didn't
sure.
see Spider-Man. We didn't see Spider-Man from the animated series in the 90s.
Which that was actually my favorite
also,
Spider-Man TV show.
Understandable. It's
We-
that or Spectacular.
We're gonna
No,
mention this
nothing else
because
is close.
you mentioned it to me. I've not seen it, but there's a Venom Easter egg in there.
Oh, duh,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Miss Chang.
Mhm.
I was like,
So what?
he leans over. He leans over. He goes, "Have you seen Venom?" I was like, "Of course not." He's like, "Oh, okay, never mind. This is not going to make any sense to you."
You don't even seem surprised.
Yeah.
I also haven't seen Venom. I've just seen the trailer for it.
Okay.
And
She's not a very
When
good
he
part of
gets
those
his
movies.
5 gum or whatever.
no.
Real quick,
Pretty
so what
much, dude.
What are we gonna do next, Ryan? What are we doing?
So we're gonna reveal the number. We
Okay.
did a random number generator.
We
'cause
got
I'm
four-
like-
Before- got the movie already.
Before we move to the reveal and the movie, I want us to go around and say, what is a character that you wish to see in part 2 and across or Beyond the Spider-Verse that you don't know? You're kind of questioning, am I going to see any more of this character? It could be anybody or it could be any Spider-Man. You're like, man, I want to see more of that Spider-Man.
I want them to at least Easter egg the 90s animated series.
Tristan.
Yeah, I think I would like to see Tom Holland's just because
Absolutely.
he is my favorite.
He's got to make an
Spider-Man.
appearance, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, he's
just talking about him is not enough.
he's taking a year off from acting, so we'll see if
He's got to rest the vocal cords, huh?
we'll see if
Him and Zendaya.
I'm gonna go with Tom Holland.
Tom Holland, Tristan.
I don't have a
Tom
strong
Holland.
one.
Oh, sorry.
Tristan to my
I've been
right.
wait-
Tristan to my
I've been
right.
waiting all episode.
I mean, I'd love to see Tom Holland or any of the other live action.
Okay.
Just because I think it's
just
cool.
actually being
or
in
any
it.
Spider-Man. Yeah, I like to see anybody in it.
I do think, dude, they did the Who Framed Roger Rabbit thing, and I loved it. I was like, we're
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
mixing the live action and the animated.
And
That's
it's
good.
fine.
Maybe
it's
Luigi.
Fine.
I'd like to see Luigi.
Yeah.
I would love to see it. Yeah. I want Lego Spider-Man for that.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah,
more
yeah.
Lego
Bring it, yeah.
Spider.
Nick
That's a
Navicki,
good one.
yeah.
That's a good pull. I
Yeah,
think.
because well, go ahead,
No,
sir.
no, you got it.
No, you haven't shared yours yet.
I think I only say this because I'm questioning whether or not we're going to see more of him. I want to see more Bollywood Spider. I don't
That'd
think
be
we're-
good,
I
'cause he
don't
was
think we're
great.
going to see any more
He
of
was
him.
so
though.
good.
I'm so scared.
I think we might because he was there kind of towards the end. I think.
Oh, is he?
I think we get. Him
I saw the OG crew, but I didn't know.
I
if he
think
was
him
with
and Hobie are now with the OG crew. I think.
I'd like to see more of him.
Yeah.
Hobie is
Spider-Punk.
Right,
He's
okay,
he's
cool.
a grungy. Yeah.
Daniel Kaluuya of Nope and Get Out fame.
Yep.
Yeah, he was easily my favorite character in that movie.
he's so good.
If I could hear him,
And
half
to,
the time,
and
he was
to,
great.
Yeah,
true.
yeah, true.
And to save the day with Gwen. I mean,
Yes.
what a homie. I was just gonna say, like, I'm racking my brain. Who's missing? And unless we count like said lines regarding like Toby or Andrew, it's really kind of just feels like 90s animated and Tom.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure someone's like, when you bring on your money.
I want more Spider Kitty. I think it's cute.
100%.
But I'm a cat
100%.
guy,
It's cute.
so. All right. Well, Ryan, do you want to introduce our
Ryan,
reveal?
So we're gonna do this a little different.
Okay.
You're gonna take a guess as to what it is. So I'll tell you the number.
Okay.
The random number generator kicked out 88.
Oh man.
Number
It's
88
a good pull.
is a movie that's in a genre or world that we've already talked about tonight.
Oh man, that's a good.
Take a guess as to what.
That's good. That's good.
Empire
movie.
Strikes Back.
No, that's way too low.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
I see. Got it.
All right, let's go. Is that your one? Is that your guess?
No, I mean, based off of that, I'm gonna go.
Oh, sorry, man.
I saw
We
it.
got Tristan.
I saw
We'll,
it. I
we'll
saw it
take
in
that
his,
as Tristan's guess.
Tristan
Jacob,
took it.
go ahead.
I
Don't go
saw it
too
in your
deep.
eyes.
Don't
You-
go too deep.
I saw it in your eyes. You had it.
Wait,
But
wait.
he
You already
already
guessed?
He already guessed. No,
Nah,
he
you
guessed.
get another one.
He does not.
Okay. Well, he didn't know. I
No,
just put it
it's
on
okay.
him.
I just had the adult guest pass for today anyway.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know they made those for adults.
Made those kids. I'm gonna go Inglorious Bastards.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, I don't remember talking about Tarantino tonight.
I talked about the world. We talked about our world and World War II happened in our world.
No,
That's
wait,
what I was
Ryan,
going with.
legitimate property.
Okay.
Man, I don't remember. We talked worlds.
It came up a few times.
We talked about a lot.
This world came up a few
man,
times.
This world did come up a few
oh,
times.
I mean, might be MCU. I don't know. I'm done.
I think
I'm done.
it's.
Hamilton.
I think it's Star Wars, but I think it's.
He's got it.
Yeah, you
No, I
got it.
don't. I mean,
You do.
I'm gonna say something that's wrong, but Return of the Jedi. Yeah.
You did it.
Turn of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi. Wow. All right.
Empire Strikes Back is probably like number 7
Yeah,
or 8.
it's probably way
It's
higher.
it's top 20.
Yeah.
I think it's like
I don't know. You got the list.
Pull it up, Marty.
no. I'm not gonna wait. No, I'm not gonna say it for our listeners to guess later.
All right. So
Oh.
we are watching Return of the Jedi.
Nice.
One final thing to do.
Okay.
Rank these
Tristan,
films.
you can get in on it. That's not the one that's.
No, I'm good.
Rank these films. We got one more. Rank these films. All right.
Yeah, we got that's the trademark. we
Wait,
got to end
so
it with it.
which
All
ones
right.
are we?
The best
This
of
is-
2023, right? Top
Yep.
new releases.
Yep.
2023.
TD at the movies.
Got it.
So my list didn't
All right.
change. It just shifted down. I put this one at the top.
There you
Well,
go.
you want to go ahead and read that anyway?
Yeah, what's that list?
Spider-Man, Guardians, John Wick, Creed, Mario, Ant-Man, which actually made me think. There's a line in this movie that was also said in John Wick, where he's like, "You might want to think about something before you sign up" or something like that. It's very similar.
Oh, really?
Ah.
That's a
Somebody
good-
said that
nice.
to
Spiderwick confirmed.
Is it when
I
Miles?
thought I heard
Yeah,
Keanu.
Is
somebody
that
said
what
it to
Miles-
Miles as he's walking.
Spider
in.
was
Uh,
That would.
I thought it was when Miles like, yeah, I'm thinking I'm bad.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm in the wrong universe.
What up,
be
Danger?
seeing you.
I think it was the punk one
Probably.
cool.
Oh,
that
yeah.
said that
Yeah,
to
that
him as
sounds
he's
right.
walking in.
That's cool.
I did want to share a cool fact. You guys remember how like they revolutionized animation with the first one
Yeah.
by animating Miles at a slower frame rate?
Mhm.
Like he was 2-1 while everyone else was 1-1. Spider-Punk was 3-1 in this.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
He's always moving, man.
he is.
Even when he's standing
Always
still,
moving.
he's always moving.
How do you look cooler without your mask on?
That's so funny, dude.
Uh,
All right. Who's next? What it?
Let me go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
I'll go. All right, starting from the bottom, I've seen 11 this year.
he passed me.
Yeah, well, I think I've always been ahead of you. I forgot about one of
Oh,
them
okay.
for a long time. Sorry.
That's great.
I'm always number one.
Always been ahead.
All right, number 11, Renfield, maybe stunk.
Good gravy.
Mario wasn't great, better than Renfield.
It wasn't.
Oh,
Ant-Man,
That's my brother.
that's my biography. I think.
Ant-Man was fine, better than Renfield.
Everyone.
Yeah, you unsure opinion about this
What?
movie every time.
And
You
it's gonna
think
be
I
this-
like it more than I did.
No,
I just don't like that you hated it.
no, it's gonna be until January. You'll be hearing this. A Man Called Otto at number 8 was fine. It was
Oh,
good.
you saw that in theaters?
Yep,
Nice.
better than Renfield.
I'm not going to argue.
Cry in a man called Otto.
No.
Oh, well, you told me. Yeah, you did, dude.
Yeah, I cried the whole time, dude. It's a
Yeah,
sad
you're like,
movie.
you need to go see it. I cried.
Yeah. Number 7 was The Little Mermaid, better than Renfield.
Wow, Little Mermaid.
Number 6, Hey God, It's Me, Margaret, better than Renfield. Number 5, Air, way better than Renfield.
yes, it is.
Number 4, Creed. Don't lean in now. Number 4, Creed. If you weren't with us then, you're not with us
You ain't
now.
rocking with us now.
Creed, way better than Renfield. That's number 4. Number 3, Across the Spider-Verse.
Whoa.
Amazing and better than Renfield. Number 2, John Wick 4, better than Renfield. And number 1, Guardians, better than Renfield.
I didn't see this coming.
Wait,
at all.
would you
Man,
put
hot
that?
take in there.
Would you put Across the Spider-Verse in S tier or A tier?
Yeah. Here's
You
the
go,
thing.
A tier. You go, yeah, man. It's in one of those tiers.
With
Can I hit you guys with something absolutely hilarious?
what's up?
I have these movies tiered in 1, 2, and 3.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. You went to the NFL Network and you saw how they do it.
No, I did this one first. I've been doing this since last year.
Okay.
It's good looking at that draft stock.
Hey, you go create a tier. The S is always first.
It is. It is. I just didn't do that last year,
Yeah.
I guess. My bad.
Um,
I'll use it to keep
That
it
was
separate.
before
though.
he played a JRPG.
the
That's not even
the
true.
reason Guardians is so high for me is because I saw it the first time in 4D, and it was the best.
Dude, this movie in
4D
4D would
experience I've
break
had,
your spine.
and I can't get that out of my soul.
Okay.
Was how
All
good
right.
that was.
Well, that's good.
But you also had this below the other movie, which I'm blanking on right now, which
John
is
Wick?
John Wick 4.
Wait, hold on. Time out. Where'd you have Renfield?
11.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, I'll probably see roughly 28 movies before this year's over, and it will be number 28.
Why
You
did
guys
you,
can
why
bank
did you
on
hate
that.
it so much?
I didn't like it. It stunk.
The action's incredible.
The action was too much. It's too much.
John Wick 4 is number 2,
They weren't
Anyway.
ripping people in half.
which is awesome.
You're acting like the action's the same thing in the movies.
I could see where it. Not that I care. I don't have a dog. I don't care about this movie.
yeah, watch
But
Renfield.
even if I did,
No,
I would feel.
Don't.
I would
yeah,
feel.
because it stinks.
I feel super neutral about this movie until I see the violence and go, I don't care for this. I could see myself doing that. That would be my one hang up.
Like that would be the tipping point for you.
Yeah.
Hey Siri, play "I Stand Alone" by Godsmack. You want to go next to me?
Joke's on you. We don't have any Siri. Now you turned on my Siri. I'll go. All right. So I have 6 movies on here. So I'll just go ahead and read them off. Number 6, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Number 5, Creed 3. Number 4, Cocaine Bear. Number 3, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Number 2, John Wick Chapter 4. Number 1, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
All right.
That's tough, but I would probably, ask me what day of the week, it'll change.
That's
But
fair.
And I just
I
want to
liked
go back real quick. My top 3 are in my S tier. Just so we're all
Yeah,
now, dude,
yeah,
that's
man.
not what I heard.
I get it.
yeah,
No, I heard A, B, C,
Yeah.
1-to-1.
I keep going different one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep the tiers separate that way. Okay.
All right.
I got 10.
Okay.
10 is
Sucker.
Pope's Exorcist. 9 is Ant-Man 3. 8 is Mario. 7 is Coquina Bear. 6 is Renfield. 5 is Creed 3. 4 is Air.
High.
He put that above Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, it's
I
sure
thought
did.
Cocaine Bear was a lot of fun.
It is. Renfield and Cocaine Bear have similar
Renfield's
violence.
funner.
5 is Creed 3. 4 is Air. 3 is John Wick 3. 3 is John Wick 4. Math is not hard.
Is this
He
what I did
went
last
3,
week?
2, 3.
Amen. Yeah, I did. 2 is Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and 1 is Across the Spider-Verse.
All right. Yeah. That's a good list.
Since we're on lists, quick.
Did you
thing.
do it?
No. Sorry, dude. I'm going to Beach Week next week. I don't have time to do anything.
Beach Week is beach camp for our teenagers, and we're going to be gone for a week.
Thanks, homie.
So my
It's for
wife's
church.
doing something for the podcast. I don't know if we want to.
What is it?
She's creating a new graphic, and there's a whole bunch of other things coming with it.
Wait,
with, like-
I'm so sorry. Are we done with the list talk?
no, we're not.
Okay.
Because it's coming back to it.
Okay, cool.
She's creating all these other things that go with the podcast that kind of help the viewers get to know who we are. We can fill out these blurbs, all that stuff. She asked me specifically to ask you to read your list off of your top 100 movies again.
Just pointed to Marty
For this
context.
podcast.
We're going to go kind of into
No.
production meetings.
No, she didn't.
She did.
She did.
She
actually.
didn't.
She did.
She
And
didn't.
She did.
Rather
She
than
can go
ask
back and
you-
listen to the
No,
last
doesn't-
episode.
She said it wasn't on
No,
there.
it got cut off.
Yeah.
Halfway
This
through
is
it.
great. This
Yeah.
is great. If I didn't listen to this episode, that episode
No.
at work,
Cuts off
at
3
work,
minutes. The last 3
at
minutes.
work,
The last 3 minutes aren't there.
today.
I'm telling you right now. I'm
Today.
telling you right now, Marty.
And
That's
I
what she said.
specifically remember that episode ending with Tristan saying, "I'm going to get you to read your list every episode."
No way! I said that, but it wasn't in the podcast because it got cut.
It is. I
But
heard
my
it.
Wife,
I
my
heard it
wife needs it for a new graphic she's
today.
making for Marty's
Not
top
even
movies.
kind of a
She
joke.
needs it.
I listened
Marty,
to our Silence of the
read
Lambs
the list.
episode
All right,
today.
man.
Marty, read the list.
He does his homework.
Marty, read the list.
I didn't anticipate him listening to it
Stop.
today.
We're
If
not
we hadn't
gonna
listened to it today, I
Marty.
thought we had a chance.
Marty, read the list. We need it. We need
In
the
all
list.
fairness, here, time out. Can I give an explanation?
I'll read it for the meme.
Yours can move. So yours could have moved from last week to this week.
That's
even
Oh,
though
true.
we
you're
haven't
right.
watched
You're right.
one
Because
from
some
the-
idiot watched Interstellar and ranked it despite not watching
I
it with
don't
his
really know
podcast.
why.
And
brother.
is it in the top 100?
Interstellar?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said
On
that.
the
He's like,
list?
even though this is in the top 100, even though it is in the
No.
top 100, we haven't watched it anyway. I'm going to go ahead and rank it. I was like, wow,
I deleted it. I deleted
okay.
it.
So
Well,
this is why we need it.
We need
Yeah,
to
there you go.
refresh.
There you go.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll go
okay.
ahead.
That's our angle.
You guys fought for this, and I'm proud.
Well, we talked about it for like 5 minutes at work. We should have
You're
been
like, we
working
got-
and we
we
were
gotta-
talking about it.
Got to get Marty to read it.
Like, hey,
No,
should we,
dude, this is all Jalen, dude. She called me.
should
and
we
she's
pack
like,
this
is what
stuff
we
for beach camp? Like, no, let's talk about what we're going to do to get Marty to reveal his
Yeah.
list.
Oh, let me make sure these numbers are in order.
need. Make sure the tiers are correct too.
You want me to read the tiers too?
Yeah, we
Well,
need
if
it
you
all.
put them in there,
Okay.
you have to say
You're
it.
darn tootin' I
I need
did.
you to read everything that's on that.
Oh
page.
man, I'm doing this backwards. I'm wasting so much time, guys. Dude, I deleted Interstellar and
And you deleted the whole list?
no,
no.
thank God, no. But now
Wrong
now
trash can.
Dude, just,
Wrong trash
dude, just
can.
go hit the undo button. It'll do it for
can't. The
you.
tier list makes it so hard.
I knew it wasn't as simple as he was making it
No,
sound.
it's not simple.
Your hubris got the
It's
best
so
of you.
funny. No, I deleted Interstellar and then
Tears are actually the
His
worst.
computer's
I
his computer's
I
starting to
Don't
re-ranked
do
know
all
why
of them.
the Japanese
No,
do it.
I re-ranked all of them and then it finished at
You
99.
re-ranked them again?
that.
I think this is going to be the longest episode.
No, dude,
It's gotta
Multiverse
be
of
at
Madness
this-
was 95 minutes.
I don't know, but if you can't pull up that note quickly, we're gonna get there.
All right, friends.
Like zoinks.
Standing alone in E tier at 100.
Can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it the pianist?
It's the piano player,
Is it Redfield?
dude. Standing at the bottom of D tier at 99 is Harakiri. Then 98 is. I'm not going to keep going this slow.
99 doesn't need to be.
98 is good, fellas. 97 is old boy.
This is the best.
96 is the lives of others. 95 is life is beautiful. 94 is one for the cuckoo's nest. 93 is 3 idiots. 92 is your name. 91
People
is
have
parasite.
listened-
90 is fight club.
Whoa.
89 is green mile.
Some people
88
listen
is
at
Spirited Away.
1.5. They can't understand you.
People that listen to the last episode are punching the air.
We're just trying to honor Tristan's goal of me
Yeah.
reading this every day.
Dude, Jalen asked me to do this.
Dude, I'm so yeah, and your wife is doing us so many favors that I'm happy to help. Happy to oblige, Jalen.
Dude, I'm crying.
86 Gladiator, 85 is Two Towers, 84 is Endgame, 83 is 7, 82 is Forrest Gump, 81 is Shining, 80 is Aliens.
Wait. Is this a different tier?
Is it real?
Stop it.
Is it real?
Is it real?
Alarm bombs away.
Yeah, I will give you the satisfaction of the S tier. In first place is Silence of the Lambs. Second is Return of the King. Third is It's a Wonderful Life. 80.
It's
wow.
not The
4 is
Prestige. That's all I
Aliens.
need to hear.
The Prestige is in B
Prestige
tier.
is
I think he said it
S-tier.
during his.
5 is The
understand.
Shining, and 6
I
is
can
Forrest
see
Gump.
a world in which it's the A tier. I just
I
don't
listed
see the
all
B
of them,
tier.
not in an order
That's
that makes you
unreal to
happy,
me.
but I read every one.
He put Prestige in
I
B
have
tier. This
Prestige
man
in
put
B
Prestige
tier.
in B tier.
Beer tier.
Beer tier.
There you go. If you want to look,
Man,
at the list,
That was the funniest thing I've seen all day, and I've seen some funny
we've
stuff.
seen some
packing
funny
stuff
stuff
today.
We've seen
this
some funny
this
stuff today.
this was probably my favorite episode we've ever done. This was
Well,
great.
I'm not. We're not done yet.
You're gonna read
Um,
your list.
Yeah, let me go ahead and read mine. Tristan, I don't want to put you on the spot, but
Oh, yeah, sure.
as best you can, creative liberties wherever you want.
Yeah.
You can at least rank them, or just based off of what 2023 movies you've seen, or
Yeah.
you could just say just outstanding. This is the best I've seen.
No, well,
Go with it.
I think it's a short list. I think I've only seen 3 movies
let me
so far.
let me pull up mine just in case you've seen any more than you thought.
You see Renfield this year?
It's just
All
the
right.
listings, and he's seen all of them.
That's right.
Grown Ups 3. He's seen it.
That's every movie I've seen this year. Yeah, I rewatched The Matrix in February.
Anyway,
Which no, I didn't. I don't know why I said that.
Puss
All
in
right,
Boots.
so in third place, I'm gonna put Guardians 3.
okay,
Second place, I'm gonna put this is 3 of 3 Tristan. So
awesome.
That's
the
dead
bottom.
last, dude.
That's
Renfield's
last
not even
place.
on this list.
no,
Yeah.
I actually loved it. It just I happen to have only seen 3 incredible
You've
movies.
got high quality taste,
Mhm.
unlike some people around this table.
Dude, Ryan.
Yeah,
Right,
I
yeah,
don't
right.
eat McDonald's.
Oh, I went yesterday. Go ahead.
Okay, so Guardians in third place. I'm gonna put Air in second place,
Nice.
and then Across the Spider-Verse in first place.
That's a good
Okay.
list.
Good list.
Yeah, I think I would have, like, total transparency. I think Guardians would have beaten Air, but I saw Air, like, late night showing. My dad was in town. He played basketball in the 80s. It was just like a nostalgic
Oh,
time.
nice.
He was
Mhm.
speaking out over it. Like we had a really good time.
Yeah.
And I
It
think
wasn't
Do you
that's-
just
remember
about the
watching
movie.
him play in the 80s?
No. Good question. No.
Hey,
Oh,
so
yeah.
sorry. I know this is a movie podcast. I don't want to take this totally off track, but are any, because this happened today, are any of you guys, like, does it blow your mind that there's a possibility? Also, I think we should put this on the calendar. There's a possibility that not next year, I mean, not this, the rest of this year in the schedule,
Kevin
but next
Durant's
year.
going to go back to the Warriors?
Yes, but also, we could go see Messi play in Nashville.
Dude, I saw that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw that.
I mean,
I
Oh
saw
my
that.
goodness.
I'm
are we
100%
not going to put that on the calendar?
Oh.
And then we could tell our grandkids we saw
We
the
saw the
great
Michael
Messi-
Jordan of
we saw
soccer.
the GOAT play
I
in the
think-
flesh.
I think the best part is I think he scored 16 goals and had 16 assists this year.
Yep.
And he will have 85 goals in the MLS
Dude.
the next year.
Oh,
Yes.
oh man.
I
I,
just
will
think-
pay $500 to
Don't.
go.
They'll hear you.
Yeah, we actually have a team. We could go do that,
That's
and we
true.
don't need to pay. Like,
$30.
That's
actually, I
true.
checked the rest of the year. Miami's going to intercity Miami's going to be Inter Miami's going to be. They're going to be on the road, and so we got to wait till next year for them to come in.
I figured we were going to wait till next year.
Hopefully, he'll still be
Yeah.
around
He
because
should
he's
be.
85.
Yeah.
But I do think we should go.
Oh,
I think we should go
that's-
do that.
Yeah, I don't even
Oh,
like soccer.
more
Go
than
see
anything.
I don't care about soccer, but
Yeah.
Messi's always
To go
been
see
my guy.
Lionel Messi.
To
Oh,
go to
And
do that and
then-
then go see a live tournament at
Oh,
some
yeah, that's
point.
true.
Or
That's
a PIF.
true.
We
That's
do go
true.
see with St. Jude's in Memphis in August. We do go
Yep.
see that.
and then we can watch Renfield.
And I love Messi because he was a cover athlete
Not
on
on my
FIFA
watch.
for many, many years. Speaking of cover athletes, who's this year's next year Madden?
Josh Allen.
All right.
Buffalo
Speaking
Bill
of Josh
himself.
Allen, Buffalo
Mhm.
Bill, Silence of the Lambs. There's
That's
your
right.
full
Jodie
circle
Foster,
moment.
Elysium. Matt
We love
Damon's
you
in that.
guys.
He's
Go
also
ahead and
in
wrap it up.
Interstellar.
Hold on.
And
Oh,
there.
Well, we're
If
not
we
done.
stop
we got
now,
more.
okay.
Wait,
we
wait,
got so
So-
much going on.
We're less than 15 minutes away from breaking the longest episode
I have to
yet.
I
pee
don't think
very
No?
bad.
Okay.
Dude, I can. Wait, what'd you say? Oh, 15 minutes, dude?
No, Ryan put
Come
on.
on.
Ryan
So
put
the
on his
longest
producer hat.
episode was Doctor Strange. It was an hour and 40 minutes.
Dude, we
We're
Ryan,
can
I-
do
we
this.
didn't talk about that movie
I
once.
can't read you, dude. We go 45 minutes last week. You're like, I'm going to bed. This week, you're like, dude, let's
No,
get up to 2
It
hours.
wasn't even like he was going to bed. He was sitting there like this.
It's still
He's literally at that
it's still
record.
notably earlier right now than it was by the time the movie ended last
That's
week.
a good point. That's a good point.
Guys, I'm sorry I live 35 minutes away.
I'm tapped out on content. This is the best. I'm not going to be able to talk after
I think
this.
we did great, man. Yeah,
That's
you're
great.
done speaking for the rest of the day.
are we
actually.
going to have we should probably let the listeners know because we're probably not going to have an episode next Monday.
I had a
right?
thought
No, that's
about that.
that's
Each
kind.
week.
We don't usually
Oh.
tell them.
Oh,
Here's the thought that I had.
Okay.
I probably shouldn't say it now, but we're trying to extend this. So
yeah.
No,
Yeah,
you're
you
trying
sure
to-
are.
Hey, Marty, when he's done with this
Who's
thought,
leading?
I need you to read your list again.
And go as slow as you were going at first.
when I edit this, do you guys want me to go find the point that we talked about the to be continued and just drop in a to be continued and we drop the second part the week
okay.
after?
That's great. No.
It's
I mean, we're
Except
almost
this
that'd
would
be-
happen in
that
the
would be
second
almost
one
two
where we
50-minute
talked about
episodes
it.
if we did that.
Yeah.
I like the thought.
I
Let's not do that.
think that we can. All right, so this will be on Monday. I think that we could possibly watch and record before this Monday. I could be
like
wrong.
after Beach Week.
No. Before. Yeah, actually. Yeah.
So okay.
Well, no,
so
before.
so
When
here's
do you get back?
From what?
Let's talk schedules off the air.
Yeah, you're probably.
well, we
right.
gotta create content.
Yeah, you were the one that.
Yeah.
See, Ryan, this is where I'm
No,
getting mixed
Ryan,
signals.
we
Turn
can
it
do
off.
this.
You
This
go
is
turn it
good.
off now.
This is good. We
I
can,
have to pee
we
so
can
bad.
do this. You get back when?
From Michigan?
Yeah,
Wednesday?
that's not bad.
Wednesday, yeah.
If so, we're probably. I'm thinking not gonna be able to golf. beforehand.
I'm
which
so
is tough.
sorry. I'm going pee. I can't take it anymore.
We could watch Return of the Jedi at the house.
Yeah.
In Florida. It wouldn't all be together, but we could watch at the house in Florida.
I mean, I'm not super worried about it. I think this is one we don't necessarily have to watch. It'd be nice, but I don't think we have to.
I haven't seen it in a while.
We've also
but
got.
I could also.
I mean, when does Marty leave?
He leaves.
He's gone half the time you guys are gone.
Friday is in 2 days from now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's tough.
So getting back to,
We get back on Friday,
yeah,
so we have that Saturday and Sunday.
we do. Saturday I'm booked up because my anniversary is while we're in Florida, so I'm gonna have to do something Saturday. I don't know what yet. My wife hasn't told me, but I know there's something on the docket. I'm sure,
All right.
but I could probably swing Sunday.
Yeah?
To record.
He gets back when?
I have
Wednesday?
no idea.
So technically, we could watch it together. Y'all watch it, and then record on Sunday.
Drop
Maybe.
on Monday.
I mean, I got the day off after that, so it can be.
Yeah, we're going golfing that day.
Yeah, you're right. Golf tee time's really early, so I don't know.
It's tough.
Well, that's we'll put this for our audience, and then they'll be like, "Hey, when's that episode?" I'm like, we lied.
Yeah.
that was for content.
Yeah.
But also, I don't want to wrap up the episode because Marty's still in the restroom. So anyway,
Yeah. So Marty is using the restroom. Tristan, how was your experience on your first
yeah, how'd you
experience
like
on the
this?
podcast?
Just give
How'd
us
you
some
like
feedback.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
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 We still got like 12 minutes to go, I hear. So.
Yeah.
We'll see where
It's
it
always
goes.
the last 12 minutes to
That's
get
right.
you. You know, you get the yips. You get.
Did you ever feel like it was tough to get a word in or anything? Did you ever
No.
360 review going on?
It's
Right now?
it's toxic workplace environment.
Are we talking about the
Just
worst
curious.
Star Wars movie right now?
Well, we waited until you got back from the bathroom to wrap up the
You
episode.
think
but
6 is the worst?
now that we're here,
No.
no, definitely not.
Okay.
Now that we're here, Marty, do you want to wrap us up?
I'd love to.
Read us that list.
He's really trying to get to the 11-minute mark, 10-minute mark.
Yeah.
No, Tristan, I had a great time. It was not hard to talk.
All right. Thanks, Tristan. Just always trying to get better. Ryan, you're going to be standing there for 10 more minutes.
Hey,
It's like
we,
that Bill Burr sketch.
we love you guys. We're gonna watch Return of the Jedi soon. We're gonna watch probably not Transformers,
Barbie?
No.
but Barbie and Oppenheimer are coming
Yep.
real soon.
I did tell my dad, he's like, are you guys going to watch Transformers? I was like, no.
No,
Dude, we're
highly,
not. I was like,
highly
I
Do
can't-
we want to chase the money or not?
I
You know what
can't. I can't do the
No.
animals turning into robots.
I
now.
mean, I just started up Horizon Forbidden West literally today.
Oh,
so
so
I might be
you
in the
actually are gonna be in the
Transformers
mood.
Yeah.
Westworld.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, they canceled that.
All right. Well, love you guys.
Y'all can stop listening whenever you want.
We talk to you later. We may have
Well, not-
another episode. See you later.
Subscribe.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Three Dudes in a Movie podcast. We appreciate you. Feel free to follow us on Instagram and be sure to give us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. Have a great day, and remember, movies are good. All right, bye.